Okay, so hopefully people were able to switch over here. I have to delete my Instagram post now too because I know that's incorrect. So we are going to go in there right freaking now and delete that. Um, that is so obnoxious. So obnoxious. I apologize. Um, hopefully people figured it out that I'm on this one and not the other one. I don't see anybody in here yet. Oh, I see some people popping in. Okay. All right. I'm so sorry. It like the feed cut literally too right when I started. So I was like, I'm gonna delete that one. Let's delete that. So anybody else coming in says hello. Sorry, I went to go start a live stream before and my streaming software is messed up. So I couldn't do it on the software, so I have to do it through the webcam, but I'm still using the camera like I have plugged in. So I don't have any fun photos or overlays or anything to share with everybody right now. So don't mind me while I have to repost this story really quick. So hello, everybody. If you saw my last post, I actually messed up. So here is the link for YouTube. I am live right now if you want to come and hang out. There's a bunch of us in here. Hello, everybody. So click this link. I'm live right now on YouTube and come chit chat. Just check in. Well, that is embarrassing. Jeez. I was going to tell you all what I've been up to because I was in Milwaukee. Let me do that in just a sec. Sorry. Man, it's like I think I have a curse or hex, as they would say on What We Do in the Shadows. Where like it really doesn't matter the amount of planning or anything that I do because something will inevitably always go wrong. And I think the thing to do is just not get upset. That's just life, baby. Um, that's just life. And I thank you all for putting up with me because you're awesome. And you give me support. Yeah, so what's weird about this too versus my live streaming software and this one is that like this is actually where this is for me. So like remember before I'd be like, "Oh, this link right here." I it was like reversing Google which or Chrome, which is what I'm going through right now. They reverse the image for me. So like I am seeing it how you're seeing like how you would be seeing it. So now I'm not like reaching up with the wrong hand or whatever. So I was like, "Oh, that's helpful." Now it's just about like figuring out what streaming software I want to use now, overlay in here and stuff like that. So it's good to see everybody or see your names and the words next to them. And I know there's some of you out there who aren't chatting, and I want to acknowledge you and say thanks for being here too. You don't have to be chatting just to be hanging out with us. I feel like sometimes we just need a place to kill a few brain cells for a few minutes. So, yeah. So from whence we last saw each other, I journeyed forth to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and I had a good time there. I went to see my best friend, and we had a really great time. We always have such a good time together, and we can literally do everything, do nothing, and it's perfect. And so it was really nice weather up there too. Honestly, for them specifically, it wasn't as cold as I would have liked, but that's good for them, right? But it was nice and cool at night. It was like no humidity. I mean, like slight humidity, like the normal kind of humidity, not the overwhelming like suck your soul out of your pores humidity. Um, but yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. I went to this really cool and I should make a reel out of it because I took like pictures and a couple of like video clips while I was there and then post that on my Instagram. But I made a reel out of it. But it was this like really cool 80s, 90s themed so it's called Don's TV Repair. And you have to like know the password when you go in and they like open a wall and you go into like the place behind it. So it's like really cool. But when you get inside it was like on Sundays is there like movies and mac and cheese night. And so they were playing Labyrinth and there was like gremlin stuff everywhere. And the food was like that like great comfort food. And we just had such a good time. So I'll really recommend that place. I'll see if I can post a little bit about it on my Instagram story or in my Instagram or something like that. But it was really, really cool. So if you're in Milwaukee area, I definitely recommend it. Don's TV Repair. And it like I had like Fruity Pebbles pancakes that were so good. Listen, I'd be throwing pictures up right now, but guess what? I'm not using that streaming software today. So the one time I have stuff to show you. But I had like Fruity Pebbles pancakes that were so good. I had my drink was in a bathtub and it came a little rubber ducky, so I drank that, and then we also got a milkshake that was really good. It was I think we got the Donkey Kong one. It was whichever one was kind of like a grasshopper milkshake. So good. You can get those boozy as well, and I don't think we did for ours though. But I did a drink in a bathtub, a little bathtub, and then we got we did the mac and cheese there, and their mac and cheese is like it is so good, and you can get like mix-ins put into it. So when you do it on like Sunday, when I was there, it was like 80 cents, and then the mix-ins are, the charge as you go, but it was just like it was so good. Was there anyone playing with a glass ball while I was there? No, this time no, surprisingly, shockingly. But yeah, so what do we have? We had mac and cheese. Kim got like the chicken tenders, like they do like TV dinners, and that was one of the TV dinners, and she went with basic chicken fingers, but they were good chicken fingers. And I got the burger because they were famous for that, and I went with like whatever their like standard basic one was. It was so good. It was reminding me of like when I watched the menu, like that burger at the end, like it was that type of a burger where you're like, yeah, I really wanted that. Um, we did the pancakes. I thought we had tried one other thing too, but I don't know. But the like milkshake came with like a whole like ding dong on top of it, which is not what I thought it was. Ding dongs are like circular round things. I thought they were. I was thinking of like devil dogs, but I thought ding dongs were the ones with like the peanut butter in them. But those are funny bones, is what we learned. So I don't know. Amanda is saying there's something odd with the feed. My end, it keeps stopping and restarting and putting me out of time with the live. Have you tried Wi-Fi and mobile BET? Um, mobile net. If that's happening to anybody else, please let me know. I actually don't know how to fix this. Hello, Anthony. Um, wait, when did the poster change? Yes, I don't think, I think the last live stream, it was still my last poster, and I changed it in this one. So I think with this poster, I might have finally done all of them. I might have one more, because I have 6, and I was thinking, like, I did the one that was, like, the hand. No, this is the one with the hand. There's another one that kinda looks like Friday the 13th, sort of, but this one is episode 7, The Massacre at Hawkins' Lab. I'd wish you luck, but it won't help you. This is the one where see, the hand is supposed to be 1, you see the 001, and then the Demogorgon for, like, where Hopper was in Russia. So, yeah. Okay. Sorry, Amanda. I'm sorry that you're having trouble. Um, yeah. Amanda, can I suggest maybe trying a different browser? I'm not sure if you're using Safari or Chrome or something like that. It might be that. Might need a restart. Um, but yeah, so that was really cool. We did that. They also had a thing while I was there called um, the Bayview Bash, and I guess it's like Milwaukee does that, or not Milwaukee. This is a specific neighborhood of Milwaukee where they do. They had like a bunch of like local vendors and food places, and there was like concerts, and it was all the streets were not all the streets. The main street, like a big chunk of the main street, was shut down where they had this thing. There was something in my eye, but that was really cool. And we went to a bratwurst place there too that was really good. And they had these like fried potato balls, so good. Cannot Let me see if I have the picture of that, because I'm like, what was the name of that? Um, yeah, I'm gonna keep this live stream kind of short tonight. I want to finish up around like 10ish, maybe 10:15, just because I want to like, I just wanted to touch base with everybody. I'll do another live stream before the end of the week. I was thinking I could do one like Saturday, because I have to go to Halloween Horror Nights tomorrow night. That's Thursday. And then Friday, I have to go to Mickey's Not So Scary. So then Saturday, I think, is open, because on Sunday, I want to go back to Halloween Horror Nights. Excuse me, I have a hiccup. Hold on. I saw a question in here. I saw a question in here. Maybe I missed it. I thought somebody. Oh, the chat is out of order. Oh, God, I hate when it does that. The Wandering Panda. If you could go to any fictional TV, movie, restaurant, which one would you want to eat at? Ooh, that's a really good question. I'd like to see those answers in that chat. Ooh, Wonder Panda, that is such a great question. Oh my gosh. I don't know, but do you know, like, okay, like, kind of jumping off of that question, oh my god, I haven't brought Richard to Halloween Horror Nights yet. See, this is a travesty. He's gonna come tomorrow to have the food. I'm gonna put him with my backpack, I think. I'll remember after. I know I won't, but, uh I think I would okay, so, like, there's imaginary food items I've really wanted, like the pizza that was in a Goofy movie, that, PJ and Max are having, that scene where they run into each other while they're camping, and, like, the cheesiness of it, and you're like, "God, I want that pizza so bad." Um, Wondering Panda, said they'd wanna eat at the Max from Saved by the Bell, and that is a really, really solid answer, and in fact, that's what I'm realizing now. I think the walls were maybe themed like at the Don's TV repair. Ooh, Bob's Burgers is a good answer. That is a really, really good answer. Bob's Burgers for sure. Moe's seems scary from The Simpsons. I'm trying to think. It doesn't even have to be animated. I'm just trying to think of like a I don't know, The Bear? Maybe that one from The Bear? Like, the new one from, like, season 2. Not the fancy, fancy one, but the one that they, like, open on that last day. But I don't know, knowing that everything is so toxic there, it makes me not wanna support their dining establishment. So, ugh, we all know toxic work environments, they're the worst. Um, I'm trying to think. That's a really solid question, though. God, watch me, like, later when we're done doing this, like, all of a sudden be like, "Oh my god, I can't believe I forgot that." Ernie's Gym and Juice Bar from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I would 100% go there for the 6 workout machines, but the always ever flowing juice bar, the smoothies. McLaren's Pub, that's a good one. No, wait, is McLaren's Pub from Always Sunny? I don't know about that one. I was thinking of the pub, the where they go on How I Met Your Mother. Um, oh, Debbie's Diner from Queer as Folk, 100%, 100%. That's a good one. Oh god, you guys have great ones. You have great answers. The lemon bars, yeah, Amanda. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I thought about rewatching that show again recently. I watched it a couple years ago, beginning to end. Pizza Planet. Okay, Pizza Planet's a really good one because I feel like that's the thing that Disney has missed the mark on so much. Because you know they used to have that Pizza Planet that was at Hollywood Studios, or it was MGM, I think, when it started as Pizza Planet. But my thing was, is it was just like it didn't look anything like Pizza Planet on the inside. It didn't have the aliens with the like into the cup, and you should have had machines that you could have played to win, like the claw machine to win Green Alien Man. Like, come on, that stuff writes itself. So I'm just like, ugh, I don't know. That bums me out. You guys have great answers. Big Billy Burger from the Arrowverse DC shows. Yeah, 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 yeah. Luke Steiner from Star Hollow and Gilmore Girls. Um, we are getting Tiana's, so I feel like technically that will be a reality, right? But is it going to be? I mean, I guess we don't really know what it looks like, so we're like, okay. So that one technically is up for being like, okay, it's relevant. The Krusty Krab is a good answer. Gosh, I'm trying to think, like, that bar they went to in Supernatural, but it burned down and everyone died in it, so I'm like, I don't know, I don't think I wanna go to that place, like, yeah. Oh, man. We're on this whole food thing now. Let me see, what did I just say I was trying to look up? I was kinda trying to look up this other hot dog place we went to. Um, I don't think I took a picture of it, but I like to go, and I know it's tough because Kim doesn't like to go because she used to work for them, and so it's, like, a little more, like it's awkward for her, because you're like, "Oh, to go back to the place I don't work at anymore." But the Benelux Cafe, I went to the one that was in, like, 3rd Ward. Was that one Benelux? I think that one. They all have different names. I like Central as well in Milwaukee, but they had a salmon salad that was pretty delicious. Pretty delish. Um, Gang, I went on the Star Cruiser. I think we've talked since then. That was amazing. My friend Diane and Bill invited me to experience it with their child, and I'm so fortunate to have been able to do that. Like, it was in I can't I'm like, I'm still dreaming about it. Oh, so maybe there's like a maybe you know what I know it's hard to be like, oh, I want to go to I want to go to the cantina, but I want to go to like the Mos Eisley cantina. I want to go to a Star Wars cantina where there's actually Star Wars creatures and people inside of it. Yeah, I did get to meet Neil Patrick Harris and his husband David, and they were very cool and very nice. I got some sweet Power Ranger shoes from fun.com. Not sponsored, but I would love to work with them. um, and those were like $40. Again, I can't show you any photos and stuff. So I'll make sure the next time we're live streaming, I get this all up and going again. But because my friend Kim has some health issues, is that we basically like we watch a lot of horror movies and stuff around the house, but I'm going up there to spend Thanksgiving with her, and we're gonna have a What We Do in the Shadows themed Thanksgiving. So everybody keeps thinking I'm doing this like What We Do in the Shadows, What We Do in the Star Trek bar. Boom, nailed it. Turpin family, you win. If they're I didn't even show it. Oh my god, it's downstairs. Oh, if D is in here, D sent me a bottle of Romulan ale. Can you believe it? It is in the coolest glass bottle. I haven't opened it yet because I want it to be like I want to sit down. I want to like be like watching Lower Decks or something like that to turn it on. But I'm so excited. It's like the coolest bottle ever, and I can't believe it's actually like a real thing. So I'll show that on Saturday. Maybe that's when I'll open it. I'll toast to it. But yeah, everyone thinks that I was doing this for Halloween, but it's actually for Thanksgiving. So I'm going to go up for her. And she came to Disneyland with me when I went in August for a couple of the days. And I got her hooked on What We Do in the Shadows then. And she has since watched the show, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 times. But we watched it all over again, all together again. And we did What We Do in the Shadow photo shoot. So she has like several Nadia outfits, and she looks like exactly like Nadia. And I have 3 different Laszlo outfits. So we did like a Laszlo and Nadia outfits, and then yeah, costumes included and everything. Like we even made the witch's hat. I ordered this like hat, and then she like embellished it. So I have the witch hat. I got like the flannel with the thing. See, I'd be showing you all this, but Saturday, I'll show and tell, and we'll do a show and tell, or Saturday night live stream show and tell. That's what we'll do. But yeah, it was cool. It was. I think we had some good photos, so I'll make sure to share those photos as well. But yeah, I love that show so much. So we did a little What We Do in the Shadows photo shoot. We watched a bunch of movies. So I watched Theater Camp. It's streaming on Hulu right now. I'm kind of glad I waited for it to be on Hulu. It's not bad. It just I feel like it was moving so quickly that I mean, and this is maybe a testament actually to the writers, where I was like, I wish it had spent more time in some of the scenes instead of like moving so fast, because I was like, oh, these are funny. I actually want to spend more time in these moments. And it felt so fast paced and like very vignette that I was like little vignettes. And I was like, oh, I want to stay, and I want to be with this a little bit. And I think it's because like it was really bringing out this nostalgic factor for me of like theater. I never went to like a theater camp. Uh, but I did theater throughout high school and after I graduated. I did theater until I moved to Florida, and I just like when I moved to Florida, I was just like I can't handle the rejection, because I'm not that good. But I just like the like community and being involved in it. And then I realized I really like building sets and stuff like that. And honestly, if I could have went to school for scenery design, I think I probably would have, or some sort of like production aspect of theater. But everything around these parts was kind of aimed at specifically like being in theater. And I can't major in film and then minor in theater and then what? Like, so I don't know, so I think it's a cool thing, and it's something I wish I'd spend more. I hope to someday spend more of my life involved in again somehow. I don't know if it's like how you do it, if it's too late or what, but yeah. So oh, speaking of I see Amanda in here's mentioned something. So theater camp, I thought it was good. I think it's worth a watch. I think it's good. I think I like too because it was like there's like 3 actors in the movie, them plus the director wrote the movie. And then like so it's all I love that they're all friends that did that together. But so they're already famous people, so they're clearly very talented, so, but, yeah. But yeah, so I also got her to watch Our Flag Means Death, and the second season of that I think starts like the first week of October. So I'm very, very excited for that to come back. So I was happy that we rewatched that. She really, really enjoyed that show too. So we watched that, and so I watched all of What We Do in the Shadows, all of Our Flag Means Death. I got her to watch a couple episodes of Brooklyn Nine-Nine because originally she had seen a few and she didn't like it, but I got her to watch the Sterling K. Brown episode and she liked that one. But I was like, this one's not really like the rest of the show. But I think she might give that one a try too. The problem is it was on Peacock and they have Peacock with commercials, and I was like, I don't know about you, but nowadays it's just impossible to watch a show with commercials unless it's live, unless I'm watching it like on live TV. But I don't have cable, so that like the only time I watch anything live like that is like the Oscars or Golden Globes or something like that, like an award show or sporting event, as it were. That doesn't happen that often. Although every year I'm like, I'm gonna get into baseball, baseball, baseball. I used to play baseball, so but yeah. So we did that. We watched, well, when I say we watched this, I got her to watch the first Goosebumps movie, the 2015 one, and literally it started and I immediately passed out and fell asleep because of like she's in like some pain. I don't want to give away like her health related stuff on here, but she basically a lot of times she's not really functional until like really like it'll just be like 2 in the morning. So I basically didn't go to sleep till like 5 a.m. every day. But it was fine, it's worth it. And but I would like pass out the second the movie started. And that that was a lot of fun. We watched Goosebumps. We watched Poltergeist. They'd never seen Poltergeist. I did stay awake for the entirety of Poltergeist, but I love Poltergeist. And we watched then she watched Poltergeist too, but I fell asleep in the exact same spot. I've always fallen asleep in Poltergeist 2, so I'm like, I don't think I'm meant to watch Poltergeist 2. Of course, we watched the original Poltergeist. We did not watch the Sam Rockwell Poltergeist, and I told her not to watch that one either. I started to watch that one after I'd seen the original one, and I was so confused because I was like, it's the same plot as the original, and it's the same like family dynamic, but they don't have the same names. But it's like the tree and the clown and everything are there. So I was like, are you trying to be in the same universe, but like different? So I didn't get that, but um we watched that and then I was like, oh, you know what? It was so good. And I was like, you know what sucked? It chapter 2. I was like, I've only seen it the one time, but I know I have it. And um we went to watch it chapter 2, and again, of course, I fell asleep immediately, but I woke up to her hysterically laughing at the scene where Jessica Chastain is going to the apartment she used to live in, and the older lady lives there, and she's like, "My father, you joined the circus," like, and then she runs out like all naked and CGI'd and stuff, and Kim laughed for a solid 15 minutes to the point I was worried she was hyperventilating, and she said it was probably the worst movie she's ever seen. I'm like, yeah, that checks out. It was pretty terrible. So, but yeah, we watched that, and then we started rewatching The Exorcist, and I kept falling asleep, this is what happens when you start movies at 2:30 in the morning. But um but yeah. So it was fun. So I'm trying to keep that like Halloween thing going right now for me too. So um but yeah, I don't know. I know I said Star Trek a little while ago. I don't know if you all are watching Star Trek Lower Decks. The first 3 episodes are out now and they're pretty good. I'm finally watching season 3 of Only Murders in the Building because I was like, okay, I'm gonna catch up just in time to binge through it really quick. I have not watched the show From. I have heard about the show From, and I think I am going to give that a shot too. And I'm also seeing a question in here by the Wandering Panda. Did I say I watched season 2 of Heartstopper? I have watched the first episode. It was not hooking me the way the first season did, but I am going to watch it all because obviously I love them. So I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going. So yeah. So those are on my list. I haven't watched One Piece yet. I've heard really good things about it. That one I'll have to wait and get around to it. It's already renewed for a second season, so I feel like I have a breather room of not having to like contribute to it and stuff. So um, I think for I think I want to. I gotta finish rewatching that original Exorcist movie. I fell asleep, like, literally, like, halfway through the movie. Like, she's full on possessed, and they've called the priest and stuff, and so, I gotta get that one to rewatch because I know that new one that's coming out is like a sequel just to that original one. So I want that one like fresh in my mind when I go into the new one. And I think that one comes out October. It might be like the middle of October. I feel like there's a movie coming out the first week of October that I want to see too. There was a couple of like cool horror movies, but like I want to see Talk to Me. I've heard is really good. I don't think it's streaming anywhere yet, but I do want to see that. Um, Haunting of Hill House, I watched whenever the year they had the haunted house at Halloween Horror Nights, and that was really good. I really, really liked that. I'm getting a question here. With Halloween around the corner, do you like to watch the old Universal movies? Do you mean like the old monster movies? I don't. Craig does. Not that I don't like to. It's just so I use Halloween Horror Nights as like a blueprint of being like, okay, sorry, I just turned and my robot over there says 2 people were found dead in Altamont, and I'm like, "Oh god, that is 15 minutes from me." Um, so anyway, speaking of real life horror, I don't mean to make light of that. I'm gonna have to look into that in a second. That's awful. So, what am I looking for over here? One of my all-time favorite horror movies, right here, The Frighteners. Look, this includes a free movie ticket inside for the movie King Kong. So that's when you can tell when I bought this DVD. Well, I just lost a piece of paper under here. But yeah, I try to use whatever the houses are at Halloween Horror Nights, like the IP houses. I'll go through and oh, this is my Captain Marvel movie, digital copy. I will watch those movies if I have not seen them, and then I'll kind of go like from there. Usually other stuff comes up. I feel like I want to watch Insidious. I didn't see the new Insidious, and I've only seen Insidious 1 and 2, but I know the new one really is only directly to the first and second one, so I want to watch those. I do love the Conjuring movies too. And I haven't seen the third one of those, so it's like, oh, okay, well I could watch that. I could watch the Insidious movies. I think I might watch the Chucky TV show, just because the house is there, and of everything that's there, I think that's really the only thing that I haven't seen that I'm able to see. So, yeah. I see Turpin family is saying I used to watch that and 13 Ghosts all the time. Did you know there's a TV show apparently coming out of 13 Ghosts where I think it's going to be like a 13 episode TV show, but like each episode deals with a different one of the ghosts or something? That's what I had basically read was the pitch for it. So it sounded interesting where like it all comes together in the end. And I'm like, oh, that could, so it's like an anthology show, but that'd be kind of interesting. Okay, growing up, were any of the Power Rangers villains legit scary? No. I don't remember being like afraid of that. I did think they were monsters though. It wasn't like I was like, "Oh, that's a guy in a suit." Like I legitimately was like, "Oh, it's so cool." I mean, like I knew it was like I knew what a television show was. So I was like, it wasn't like Galaxy Quest where I'm one of the people watching the documentary about life, but it was still one of those things where I was like, "This is cool. Like, I love this." But I will tell you one thing I did see when I was a kid that really did F me up is, there's an episode of the real Ghostbusters, the cartoon show, and because I like, Ghostbusters was my Power Rangers before Power Rangers, and, like, I love Ghostbusters. So, because I think I just have always loved that macabre sort of stuff, but I'm still afraid of stuff. It's not like I'm like, "Oh, I'm tough because I like it." I'm like, "No." Um, there was an episode with the boogeyman, and I think they like go into his universe or something like that, and that I could not like. The door had to be open, the closet had to be closed, and if something fell under my bed, it would live there forever. It was like I did not mess around with that, and that episode really effed me up. I see Mark is asking about, did I already talk about the new Goosebumps series? I haven't, but we should talk about that because um, I did see they released the full trailer for Goosebumps that I believe is coming out Friday the 13th, and I think they're doing like 5 episodes at once. I think it's like a 10-episode show, and 5 episodes are premiering on that Friday. It's a lot. But I thought the preview looked really cool. Like, more, like, honestly, cooler than I expected it to be, because it is on Disney Plus, and I was like, "Oh, no, it's not gonna be like whatever." I feel like I'm hoping the vibe I'm getting is that they're leaning in and being like, "Okay, well, we're trying to make this for, for and about who it was about," which was like 12 to 14-year-olds or whatever. And I know that's young, but it definitely looks like it might be like a cool PG-13 TV show. So, I'm excited. This I know this season, I don't know if it's meant to be multiple season or if it's gonna be anthology and or whatever, but I know that it's based on 5 books. It's using 5 books in it. So it's The Cuckoo Clock of Doom, The Haunted Mask, and the thing that bugs me about it is, and maybe I can get screenshots for next week, for our next live stream, is that the Haunted Mask, I think, is in the preview. I think it's that plain white mask. And I was like, "How dare you? How dare you, sir? How dare you, madam? Whoever made this, how dare you?" Because we know, I have it right here. We all know this is the Haunted Mask. Okay? And the one that was in the TV show looks like this one, sort of. But I'm like, so I'm kind of like, I don't like that. So, but I do know it's Cuckoo Clock of Doom, Haunted Mask, Go Eat Worms, obviously Say Cheese and Die, because you see that camera a lot, and then Night of the Living Dummy. So it's those five books were like the material they used for this. And it honestly looks like an idea I had forever ago, where it was about like the grown up Goosebumps, where it was like about the adults in like a therapy group about who had experienced this, and then they kind of find out how they're all connected and like going back through their past and everything. And so I'm a little like, man, if I hadn't slipped on that idea I had like 5 years ago. But I worked in I had worked in an environment that sucked all creative energy out of me, and I did not want to do anything anymore. But so I'm excited. You know what? I talk it up. Great minds think alike. It's the same as that Last Man on Earth TV show, which was my short film like 2 or 3 years before that show came out, and it's literally like the first episode is the same as the episode I did. That's odd. But so I have restarted reading the Goosebumps books. Very excited for that show. What was I going to say about Goosebumps? I feel like there was another. I love Justin Long, and he's in that. So anyway, I am dragging my feet with The Ghost Next Door. I think it's because I already know the ending, because Hannah is the main character in the 2015 movie, or is like not the main character. She's one of the main characters, but so like I already know the end, and this one feels like it should have been a short story, and it's stretched out into the full book. So, and I think it's just because I really want to get to the Haunted Mask, because the Haunted Mask is the next one. But I am going to start my Goosebumps podcast again. If you did not know, I have one. It's called Let's Get Goosebumps, and those videos aren't going to be on here. It's a video and an audio podcast. The video is just literally me sitting here talking to you and reading from the book and stuff like that. So it's your choice. You want to watch it or listen to it on here, or you want to listen to it on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to podcasts. You go ahead and do that. I mean, I'd love you to do that. I just meant like I wanted to make it as easy as possible for anybody to jump in wherever they wanted to. So I think when it like officially restarts, which I believe my goal is going to be the first week of October, because I feel like spooky season was the right time to do it. But I think it's going to be like 2 a month, I think. So that way, if you want to read along, I think it's more than enough time for somebody to like get a hold of the book and read the book and stuff. So and it'll be easier that way, and we'll just do it that way. But it's going to be a re-release. I'm going to re-intro and redo the other ones, and they'll be on the Ampliverse YouTube channel, which is my other YouTube channel that I do with my friend RJ and other creators and things like that. But I just decided it can go over there. So that is the Ampliverse. You can check that out. You can check out the website that goes with that, theampliverse.com. It's spelled how it sounds. It's AMPLIVERSE. Ampliverse, like amplifying universe. Ampliverse. I'm going to start writing on there, I think. some stuff. Just like use those like a live journal, like a cool person does, when MySpace just can't do it for me. When is Disunplugged coming back? I don't know. I don't. The Disunplugged is not coming back, as far as I know. I know a show is coming back or starting. That's a work related question. So I would just say pretty soon, very soon, very soon, just right around the corner. But you'll be very notified ahead of time. So, but yeah. How far are you into the journey with the Goosebumps books? Like I said, I'm still on the ninth book, but I have actively been reading it. I'm like halfway through it. Like basically had to restart it like 3 times. So I restarted it while I was in Milwaukee and I read outside because it was nice and chilly. And so I'm going to, it's in my backpack right now. I am going to read some more tomorrow. I'm going to start trying to be better about like really segmenting time during the day to read. Because I've read that can really help people a lot. Just really being like, even if it's just like 20 minutes, just set an alarm and say that's just for that activity, and that can help you feel more productive and things like that, and also helps you step away. I'm not good about stepping away from stuff, so there's that. I think it'll be great too because then I'll be reading Haunted Mask 1 like right in the October area, so it's good. But if you guys want to join me on that, I would love that to have you on that journey. But again, that'll be on the other YouTube channel. And of course, I'll let you know when it's happening, and I'll do a video on here and over there to talk about it. So, but we'll still have everything over here. We'll have our live streams, everything like that. I just don't know that this is a place where I'm like, I don't need a show on here. I don't need, and that's like a show. That's like a thing. And I'm like, I like doing these live streams. I'm going to try and do more videos of the dogs. I'm going to do more videos of like the bars and restaurants. I'm going to start doing that. I think I'm just trying to figure out the thing that works best for me, and then like how to invest in that because, I want to be like non-invasive. I want to use my own my own style to tell the story of that experience, of those experiences and things. And I don't know what that looks like just yet, but I'm trying to learn. I think it involves me buying a new camera lens, which is very expensive. So if anyone wants to help with that, patreon.com/Rhino RYNO1185. Oh my God, that's what I was gonna say. I forgot. So there's a big annual pass holder shopping thing going on today, tomorrow, Friday, and I think Saturday at ESPN Wide World of Sports. And you have to be an annual pass holder to go, and it's like all this Disney merchandise and stuff. I got some pretty cool stuff to do as giveaways. I spent way too much money, but it's really almost everything I bought was for doing my personal Patreon giveaway. So I got 4 lounge flies. I got a lightsaber to do a giveaway with. Princess Leia. I got some cool like mugs. I got this cool like Trader Sam's like thing to do. So I've got some stuff to give away. And or I keep saying giveaways. Is that I mean, I give it away, but you have to win a contest in order to get it. Okay. So it's not so easy. So you're going to have prompts and everything like that. And if you are a Patreon supporter, I will have those ones for this month up. Uh, I'll do those first thing tomorrow morning because I want to make sure they're good. And we got a bunch of extra fun stuff to give away to do contests with this month. The giveaways are part of the contest. If you win the contest, you get the giveaway. I can't just give stuff away. Because apparently that's not legal. So yeah, but I like doing the contest because everybody on there is very creative, and also it lets you kind of like really say like whether you're interested in that item or not too. So yeah, Allison is asking, LOL Rhino, is Patreon really working if you keep buying us stuff? I actually had that conversation with somebody today where I was like, oh, I spent this amount of money. And I was like, but that's literally how much money I make on it. So I was like, here's the thing. I think I'm still breaking even at the very least. I'm breaking even. So it's not like I'm losing money. That's what I'm worried I tiptoe into is the losing money. Oh, let me do the Ampliverse. I'll write the Ampliverse. Right there is the website, and then youtube.com/the Ampliverse. There's a lot of K-pop videos on there right now, because there's some very creative people in the K-pop world. They're awesome. So they do great work, and they've really hit it off over there doing the K-pop stuff. So I can't wait to throw my Goosebumps stuff into the mix of a K-pop, what has become a K-pop area right now. But no, I talked about it with RJ, so he was like, he wants that show over there. So um, yeah, Diana's right. I'm bad about not counting the mailing costs because it's crazy how expensive it is to mail stuff. Isn't it wild? Even using pirate ship, it is still like I mailed something today and it was like $25. And I was like, good Lord. RJ is doing cooking shows again on the Ampliverse. Wait a minute. Did he already publish that video? Um, oh, he did. He should make that the featured video. Okay. Sorry. I'm gonna make it the featured video when I'm done with this. I watched the video before he published it, and it was really good. He has a new. So if you're familiar with my friend RJ, he did Food Rocks, RJ's Food Rocks, and the what was I gonna say? His format there is he would cook and then he would talk about it later. But he has these mics that I have that he got, and so this is the first time he did the video where he's like talking while he's making it, and I was like, yeah, you got to do. I like how he does it because he knows what he's doing, and it's interesting. And I don't know, it's like the way he explains it seems very he seems very just one of those people that's very good at like public speaking. I mean, he does like theater and stuff like that, and he used to be an Imagineer. So it's like he's good at that sort of stuff. He's one of those type of people that's like, it doesn't matter what it is, they can kind of like pull it out of the air and make it a reality. So, I'm glad he's doing the cooking videos on there now too. So that's cool. But am I going to be doing more bourbon study? I don't know. I wanted to try something new. I think I'm gonna do a drink making series video on this YouTube channel though. And not maybe it won't be like every Friday, maybe it won't be like whatever, but I want to do one because I want to do all different types of spirits, and I want to try and do that on here. Jill's just been very like busy. She's been traveling a lot and things like that. I know we'll do some. I'd like to do them for like the holidays, do a couple of like fun themed ones, but I don't think it'll be a regular thing just yet on the Ampliverse. It is. I'm going to do a drinking thing on here, and then also there's another like related thing going to come out in the future related to. I don't even want to say the name of it yet, but there's something cooking right now, where there'll be some like cocktail beer and stuff things. So just a little tease with somebody else that's not me, but you know that person. So, or some of you might know that person. I just assume everybody knows everybody I know. Yeah, but on here I want to do because I've got those cocktail codex books, and I realized even after doing the bourbon study for like 2.5 years, 3 years, or something like that, I am terrible at making drinks still. So I am going to do that. I am okay, so honestly, I know I've talked about it before, but I really struggle with space. And like when I don't have a good workspace, I find it's hard for me. Like there's nowhere to put a camera that's a good place for me to actually like make a cocktail and to make it in regular time. Like I hate it's even hard for me to just do like creative setups and things like that. So I've got to figure out how I'm going to do that. But that is something I very much want to do. So I think it might be a thing where like I'm going to have like special guests over or something like that and be like, they'll have to like help me and I'll just do a bunch in a row. But I'm doing them in my house. So it's not like I got anywhere to go, right, baby? Um, Do you know how to make a pod chaser? Well, Diane, I think you and I both know the answer is no, I don't. I mean, it is an old fashioned, right? So I should, but uh, I feel like it had a little extra punch or sweetness to it. So tequila for sure. We'll definitely see gin. We're gonna see tequila. We're gonna see bourbon. Don't worry. You know what? And I'll have vodka, and I'll tiptoe into all of it. I just get nervous with rums. Sometimes give me heartburn. But maybe I can convince Craig to come on once in a while because I think he does. I think he makes tiki drinks. He's good. My friend Ryan does tiki drinks, so maybe I'll see if he'll do one too. Um, but yeah, if you guys do like bourbon, I would recommend checking out the Bourbon Study. It's on that Ampliverse YouTube channel, and they're good. No, will I have an old fashioned an old fashioned in Milwaukee? Never, because they use soda in them, like they have Sprite or something like that. That is sacrilege. Trey thinks my heartburn is caused by the pineapple juice, not the rum. It could be. Um, David Henry, hello, David, is asking me about Dead Coconut. The Revenge of the Dead Coconut Club. I still have yet to actually have a drink in there. I think so. I did go in just to show somebody once after I did the first time, and they had were like blaring club music on like Saturday night. When it had the performers in there, like when I went in, like the women sing and they were doing like that sort of 50s 60s sort of thing, that's when it was like that is my jam. And that was great. And so that's fun when it's just like blaring music so loud that you can't talk. That's not fun for me. Like I used to go clubbing like 5 nights a week, so I understand that aspect of it all. But I don't know if I know it's like the getting older thing, but like it feels like it's so much louder. um it is like it just hurts, and I'm like, I don't remember not wanting to talk to people. I used to be able to talk to people or could do it, so I don't know. I got these earplugs though, that are supposed to help the Loop, not sponsored either. I actually bought these. They're like $35, so they're not cheap. But I got these Loop Engage Plus, so you can put them in and still talk with him. And my fear is they're so small that I'm going to lose them. I don't know where they are right now, so I might have actually lost them. I lost my AirPods too. I can't find them. So all this stuff, and then on top of that, guess what happens next month? The scariest thing of all in October, my student loan payments resume, and they're $700 a month. Excuse me? In this economy? Are you insane? Also, like, just to be real with you all, I've lost, I don't, with everything that happened with my work stuff, like, I am making less money every month that goes by. So it's one of those where, like, I know that's like not cool or uncouth to talk about or whatever, but it's part of the fallout of that sort of stuff. So when I say thank you for the Patreon support that I've gotten, or on my coffee site, the ko-fi.com, like on there where the paintings are sold, or you can buy me a drink or whatever, those things, like that means the world to me. Like, I have to do it tomorrow though. I have to tell the student loan people, I'm like, I can't pay $700. That's you're crazy. I want to do the income driven repayment plan again, but because I just have to like submit my tax return from this year to them was the problem. And I guess, you get into a habit so long of nothing, not doing this stuff, that all of a sudden it starts again and you're like, oh God, remember when we used to have to do this all the time? I don't even know if I have I know I did it, but I'm like, I don't know if I have my 2021. I lied, 2022 tax return. I just found my 2019 one, but yeah, guys. I checked on my student loan, so I logged in. I owe $80,000. $80,000. Wild. I'm never gonna pay that off. That's where I was like, let's just have a fundraiser and we'll call it my student loan payments. No, that's not fair. But no, it's just daunting. You know that I've said it before and I'll say it again. I think I'm not upset. We didn't have money. I didn't have money. There was nothing to do. If I wanted to go to finish my education, that's what I was going to do. And I do believe in higher education, and I do believe in, anybody who wants to learn should be able to learn. There shouldn't be barriers like this. Like, this student loan thing is just, it's kind of bullshit, because how can an 18-year-old do all that? And I know I took them out, I was older than 18, but it was still one of those things where it was just like you become desperate, like, and you're told you have to do this. You have to, college is a necessity that is priced like a luxury. And that is the biggest downfall, and I honestly believe that right now, with everything that's happening out in the United States right now, we are literally seeing the after effects of what happens when you do that now. I mean, think about the spike in how much everything costs versus like the like when the Industrial Revolution happened and the common worker and the CEOs, it kind of kept going like this. But in this last bunch of years, it went like this, and we're still going like this. So everything else is like this right now, went up like that. So like I know there's people who have trouble processing information like that, and that's understandable. Where like, oh well, when I was younger, it was $4 an hour, and now it's whatever. And I was like, I get it. Numbers to numbers, it seems like, oh well, it costs, but I'm like you can say like, oh well, a house is $400,000 now instead of $100,000, but we also make $10 an hour now instead of $4 an hour, and I'm like, yeah, numbers to numbers, it looks like that, but that's not. You're just looking at this one thing. There's so many more things that exist now that didn't used to exist before, and just there's so many fees for everything. Everything costs. It's inflation is insane, and food, the cost of everything. It's just I'm not trying to like complain and go down this hole, but I just anybody out there who's struggling with this, I just want you to know like you're not the only one, and it's insane, and there's like crazy sort of things and I mean my I didn't so my mother was laid off right after September, like after September 11th. And like I don't even think I had health insurance when I was a senior in high school because my wisdom teeth came in and we couldn't do anything about it. And like um and I I remember applying and they were like for stuff and they were like I didn't. I only have the scholarships I had gotten. I've gotten a couple scholarships, but like literally, they're like nothing. And they were like, and that's the thing too. When people were like, "Well, we'll pay for tuition," but like tuition isn't the thing that you need. It's the housing. It's the whatever. It's the like tuition is this much of this much thing, like this much. And I had to stop going to school. I couldn't afford my books. Is why I originally stopped going to school. I went through the first year and then I couldn't afford books in the fall, and I was like, "What am I doing right now?" I'm wildly like I could feel that digging happening, and it was just like, and I'm just sharing my story. I don't mean this in like a negative way or anything like that. Um, but it's just I looking back now, you're like, why were people not educated on this? You know what I mean? Like there should be courses and you could say, well, home ec or something like that, but there should be a course. There should be somebody who comes in and you have to do it and you have to pass tests. I mean, I know you fill out a test on the internet when you apply for the income driven government reloan, but that's stupid. Like it needs to be somebody with an instructor, with a person there who can help you and making sure that you fully understand that. It should be illegal what they did to people. What they've done to so many people, and it's one of those where you're like, I don't know, but that should be like a 6-month course in your senior year of high school or something like that, or maybe even in your junior year of high school or something. I don't know, but like my mom wasn't really working that last my senior year of high school, and I applied for student loan, like or financial assistant, financial aid, and they were like, your mother and your father, who my parents have not been married since I was 2 years old. Uh, they make too much money. My father had no money for me for school, and I'm not here to be rude about it on the internet, but I'm not sure that he's ever given me any money for school. So, my mother tried a little bit, and again, I'm not a believer that it's like it's not up for them. I have worked my entire life since I was 14 years old. So sometimes I think people think because of the way I am or the way I act or something like I don't work. And I was like, I wish you knew what it was like. And some of you do, to have worked not obviously I didn't work 7 days a week, but like to have been working since you were 14 years old, it's a lot. Like I had 3 jobs while I was in college too, finishing the end part. I worked at Disney, I worked for Jill, and I worked at the bookstore on campus. And I basically like it was just like it's a lot. It's a lot. And I feel like there is a thing where I don't know. I don't know. I don't have an answer for any of this. I'm just like speaking out here, but yeah, that first year. So I went through the first year, but it was like I remember the school was like, "Oh, you kind of didn't give us money, and you didn't fill out a loan, and we're gonna come for you. Like, and that happened after my first semester. I signed something that my mom had asked me to sign because when you are a single mother, sometimes your children have to sign things for you. And they just never told her. They never told her. They never told me that they hadn't accepted it because they knew it was a fake signature, which is pretty BS because that I am. She doesn't have the same last name anymore, so I can't do the signature as well. But I had mastered my mother's signature when I was 8 years old. So f that place. My signature as my mother appears on more things than her signature. So um, my signature as her appears on more than her real signature. That's what I should say. But in the days of checkbooks and whatnot. But yeah, so it's just wild. But I think the thing that will forever be this like sort of like little piece that like took it out of your heart just a little bit is that I remember in when I decided I was going to go back to school, where I was like, no, I've got to finish school because I was applying to all these jobs and I couldn't get anything because I didn't have a college degree. And I was like, and I was just feeling it, I lived down here, like I'd come down here to finish school in Florida um and so you're like, I've got to do it. And then at that point, I had waited until I was 25 intentionally because once you're 25, you're technically legally emancipated from your parents. And that is when I qualified for financial assistance. So I had to wait until I was 25 years old in order to get the subsidized, like to be able to take the loans out in my name, the government, the subsidized and unsubsidized loans, and then to actually get like, grants and stuff like that, stuff that you didn't have to pay back, which by the way, I did have to pay one grant back because the government said they gave me too many. And I was like, is this legal? Why is it my fault that you gave me too many grants? And they gave me one that was like $1,000 too much or something like that. And so like 2 years later, they pulled the money out of my tax return, or more than that. It was like a couple of years ago. So I had already been graduated for a while, and they were like, oh yeah, you owe us money from this thing, and they like took it out of my tax return. Isn't that wild? A grant. Dr. Alan Grant. No, but anyway, I think I remember specifically having a conversation with somebody at the school, like a financial advisor person or whatever, and they were like, the thing with student loans is that because I asked like what happens with these, like I don't know, I've never taken out a loan in my whole life, and like and they were like, well, these are different than a normal type of loan because these are like subsidized and unsubsidized, blah blah blah. But they were basically like, it won't affect your life, like it won't affect you buying a house, is what they specifically said. It won't, it's not something that affects you doing that. And I was just like, and guess what? Lo and behold, what affected me? When I first tried to go through the process of getting a house, it was like the end of 2018. I was going to do a townhouse, and I looked for a while, and then like I fell off a little bit. And then in 2019, I was like, okay, there's this one I really like. I want to do it. And then they were like, okay, you pre-qualify for this. And then when they finally went through with it, they were like, oh, something happened. Your student loan debt is too high. Like, and I was like, what? And they were like, yeah, it was the student loans. And they were like, so we can't actually give you any of this. And I was like, you son of a beast. Like my mother tried to like co-sign with me, and it won't work. So I don't even have that as an option. But it's not a woe is me. I'm just saying, like, those are the facts of life, and so are the sands through the hourglass. But so that's why sometimes it's like, I don't know, it can get to you after a while. But it's like, okay, if I could make those student loans disappear, oh man, I was hanging on hope for too long. Not the $10,000 thing. Everybody who made a stink about that being like, $10,000, these kids don't deserve blah blah blah. And I was like, I don't think you understand. I was like, $10,000 doesn't even take off the. It will literally not affect it. It is dimes in the end for me. If I had gotten the $10,000, I mean, I wouldn't say no to it, obviously, but the people who were like acting like the whatever, and I was like, all these people, I was like, I don't know, maybe you just don't know what it's like to be stuck under a rock, and somebody's just trying to help you lift it up. But you still have to get yourself out from under the rock. It wasn't like someone picked up the rock off of us. And that didn't get to happen. And then I was like, maybe they'll wipe it out with an executive order, and that didn't happen. So I'm like, okay, I need to stop hoping on hope. So I just need to get my stuff together. So, but at least with this, I think that the new program, like if you're paying them a minimum amount, um, the minimum amount, I think it can't accrue interest, and that's a pretty big game changer because I think like $20,000 of my debt right now is interest off of a $60,000 loan. So isn't that wild? And then when I reach the limit of paying off the loan, because I think they say you can only pay the loan for like 25 years or something like that. Like there's one that you can sign up for that, and but once that goes through, you're then forgiven for like the amount of the loan, but by that point the loan would be up to like $150,000. And like there was a program, like you run it through and it would tell you like in the end in 25 years the loan will be this value. You know what I mean? It's like the same with like a car loan, right? Like how much did you actually pay for the car in the end? And it's like, well, in the end the loan will actually be $150,000. I'm like, $60,000. But then you have to pay gift tax on that um for the forgiveness. So I was like, so I just get a new loan that's probably going to be 60,000. It's wild. I mean, this is just I'm just sharing this because these are the things that I learn as you become an adult. Like I know I feel like I have a little bit of arrested development and stuff, but like it's insane, right? It's kind of it's crazy, that sort of burden that nobody prepares you for, you know? Or maybe there are people out there who got prepared for it. I shouldn't say nobody. So I'm not blaming anybody. My mother didn't have the same situation, you know what I mean? And my mother put herself through nursing school with kids and stuff like that. And so I admire that about her. And you know, I admire people who are able to do it and then have families and do all this stuff. I mean, you know, your success. You know, I don't want anything that I say to take away from anything about anybody who was successful. I would hate to do that. You know, so yeah, so that's a long story to be like, when you buy a painting or when you do the Patreon or when you whatever, you know, I just want you all to know, like, it means a lot. I know it looks crazy, and I know I just said I went out and bought all that stuff for like the contest and everything like that, but that, like I said, it's breaking even, so it's not like bad spending yet. So it's just I want to do somebody does something nice for you, I like to do something nice for them. That's all. It's a simple thing in life, right? Make the world a better place than the one you came into it. I think that's ideally what we kind of want to do. So I haven't been paying attention to this chat as well as I should have. I'm sorry. But yeah, I just, you know, I feel like I had a couple of people say to me recently where they're like, well, I worked 2 jobs while I was in school and I don't have debt. And I was like, okay, well, what year did you go to school? And they're like, 1982. Yeah, get out of here. Um, and I also like the assumption is that you didn't work hard. You know what I mean? Like it's just like, I don't know, write a book about it someday, but I'll write a book for it. The proceeds from that book, pay off the student loan. Boom, there we go. I got it. That's what we'll do. But no. I feel like, you know, I just need to get it out of my body some days. You know, it makes you feel like you're going crazy. It's just that it's kind of that crap thing that you're like, oh, really, when they said don't grow up too fast, you really shouldn't have, you know? You should That's the real advice to kids, like wiggle away from money as much as you humanly can. Like, don't cost your parents money. Don't, and then that you won't have to do this stuff. You know what I mean? Like read through the encyclopedias in the house and memorize stuff. And yeah, things like that, where it's like, uh, I don't know. It's like, how to live off the grid? Like, but yeah. So when I was younger, because now that's the question Allison's asking, what kind of jobs did I have when I was younger? So my first job was working at Edaville Railroad. My grandfather was not the operating manager at that time. It had closed and reopened. And the year was 1882. No, yeah, you could work. They could employ 14-year-olds. I severely burned my hand there in clam chowder, and that's why I hate clam chowder. I hate the smell of it. I hate everything, and like I still can feel like it's like a phantom burn on my hand sometimes. Like it's not like a third-degree burn, but it was like my hand went into the vat that was like boiling, and so like I still remember what it felt like to like have to move my. It's like when I was like paralyzed by a jellyfish when I was a kid. Like I still remember that searing pain that went down to the bone, because it was a Portuguese man of war, and it was just it paralyzed my hand for a couple of days. So it was like crazy. Um, Yeah, I see it in here. I see CK2D is saying, dude, college, 6 classes, 3 jobs. The jobs almost paid for the room I rented and food and gas to get to work. It's like wild. It's wild that we just throw people into that and being like, learn, become educators of tomorrow. I don't know. There's something, I don't know. It's weird. Like, it's that like age. I was talking about it with my friend Kim, where I was like, there's a lot of that stuff that are these like they're like molds, like or like like roles that we were predestined and determined to fill in, and we are then supposed to carry that on and pass that down and stuff like that. I'm always like, nah, man. I was like, not for me. And I don't know, maybe it's because being like a gay person, that you realize that mold you have it's not conducive to you, and then you start to sort of see the other molds, and you're like, I don't know. I'm one of those people where I was like, I'd like to make life easier for people who are getting older now, because you know who they'll then make life easier for? The next ones. And then they'll make life easier for the next ones. We don't have to make life harder. And I don't know why people think we do. Especially, I hate it because my fear is like for older people. Like, I know we talk about the younger kids, but I don't know, we don't talk about older people enough. And like that fear of like they should be able to live. Like, they worked so much, like, I don't know. It's just one of those things where I'm like, this, like, next, like, my parents' generation, like, I want them to be okay, like, I know there's like anger and angst toward all these generations about whatever, but there's still people we love, and we're all gonna age, and it's just like, I wish we like cared about our elder people more. And in the same way, I know it's like respect your all these kids today, and I was like, I don't know, man. I feel like us in the middle have to kind of reach out to both sides, and it's a lot of work, but it's an investment that hopefully pays off. I mean, I want people to go out of this world in as comfortable way as they can, and and you want to like imprint that on younger people so that maybe they become more and more empathetic to the strifes of people around you. And it's exhausting because it's one of those where I'm like, I don't have answers. It's just, I think the start is just saying we care and what can we do to help, you know? Um, yeah, and it's wild. And and there's the point in here too where it's like, I get it. Like, how do people pay rent? It's like the insanity of like, and then okay, well, living with roommates, but I'm like, even with like 4 people, it's like, so you have to have a full-time job and you're expected to go to school full-time and be learning. Okay, I don't want that doctor operating on me who learned like that. Like, I don't know. It's just weird. It's just weird. I don't know. I've been thinking about older people a lot too lately. Like, there's a lot of people in your life, and I have people in my life who aren't going to make it to old age, and that's the thing where it's like, I want them to be comfortable. You know, I just want them to be happy, and I don't want them to worry. And I don't know. I don't know. It's hard. I can't even do it for myself. How am I going to do it for somebody else? You know what I mean? Like, I don't have kids. I don't plan on have kids because literally I don't think I could. But it's like I want to use, I guess, like that resource that of like a soul and means that you would put into this sort of a thing for other people. So I don't know. My friend and I were talking because we're talking about like when I was up home about like horror movies, and how in horror movies, like a lot of time in culture is that we use older people as like props in horror movies to kind of be that sort of thing that you know um body horror, like we use them in body horror and stuff like that a lot more than we do like children or anything like that. I mean, um and I was like, it's really not fair because there's beauty in aging too. I think like we've created this fear of it because obviously it feeds into itself, the healthcare industry the way it is in the United States, and then like beauty industry, all that stuff is all built on these things. But it's kind of like I think I was like, I want to make a horror movie that's like about older people, like they're the main characters. So we've got something we're working on. And that's all I want to say about that because I don't want to give it away and then have someone of you steal it. No, I'm just kidding. If you steal it, please give me credit. But yeah, it's great. The Golden Ghouls. I like that, Trey. That's a good one. It's just, see, I'd watch the Golden Ghouls if it's like a show where they're like in the underworld. So like, you um, hell ain't all it's cracked up to be, something like that. I don't know. Um, No, I'm gonna stop this soon. I already said I wasn't gonna make this go an hour. I said I was gonna do this for like 30 minutes, but I went on that rant about school for a half an hour. So I'm sorry if I turned a lot of people off or anything like that. But um, I feel like I had other stuff to talk about, so I will just have to do this again. Um, but yeah, I've got a couple of ideas. See, this is why I love being with my best friend up there, and that's why I was like, I wish I lived like walking distance because it's like there's so many things. Like she has an idea that I'm going to help her with, like two ideas, and then there's she had an idea, so I've sent her like books about screenplays because her whole thing is like I don't know the terminology and I don't know the things, and I was like, you literally have a master's degree in writing. I'm like, you're one of the most skilled and talented people I know. Like just because you don't know the terminology. So I sent her this book called and I recommend it to anybody out there who's ever like wanted to know anything about screenwriting or anything like that. It's called uh Save the Cat. No, it's not called Save the Cat. No, it is called Save the Cat. I'm sorry, I thought I was leaving a word out. But it's a pretty good and pretty approachable book where it's just it's very sarcastic toned, but it's very good because it's like everybody can learn formatting skills. You have to be able to tell the story. And it's basically helping you to be like, okay, here's why telling a story of a movie is different than telling a story of like a book, a novel, or a TV show or whatever, you know. And we talked about textbooks being crazy expensive, but there was one I had in school that was really good, and it's called Looking at Movies. And it came with like a DVD with it that was like kind of supplemental material that would go over like what you learn because obviously like when you're talking about shots, it's easier to see where you're talking about like in motion than it is to read about it. But the narrator of this was so sarcastic. I loved it. It was like it was so like, and as you can see, this is dumb. Like I'm like, I don't know. So that's my gift I always give people. I buy a used copy on like eBay and whatever the oldest edition is because I can sometimes get it for like $20. But I looked the other day, it was like $200 for a book that somebody is going to use for one semester of school. You can go right to hell. Okay. Also, those should be digital at this point. God, you're just killing trees because you added one more word and there's a new edition. Like, F that. I always got the edition before. I'm like, the pages are usually the same too. Um, but anyway, I do want to get a master. I did want to get a master's degree. Guys, here's the real truth. I'm going to tell the world right now. I don't know if I told you all. I applied for my master's degree and I got rejected. And so I got really depressed about it. I applied to the University of Wisconsin because they have a pretty interesting film program, but also it was an excuse to be able to be closer to my best friend, where I was like, okay, well, if I'm coming there, then I also have this degree, and also I can push off my loans even further. And I liked the way they were doing the degree, and kind of it's one of those things where I'm like, I have friends, a couple of friends who like live and work in Hollywood and stuff like that. That it's not necessarily about the University of Wisconsin in Milwaukee, um, and the campus was beautiful. But yeah, so my friend was telling me that basically when you apply to a master's program that's specific like that, that like it just means like they can only let so many people in, but also it's like they're just looking for specific type of person that semester, and maybe you didn't fit it that semester. But I'm also like, I'm not paying you $100 over and over again to keep reapplying and stuff. And they have the audacity to keep sending me emails. How dare you? I don't want to talk to you ever again. You've rejected me. But no, so yeah, I didn't get in and it sucks. And I looked at UCF because that's where I graduated. And I'm like, well, I'm still here. I might as well do it here. And unfortunately, the UCF, the master's program was retooled into basically a program that is literally what I currently do for work. So I would be learning out of date information. So I was like, okay, well, this is pointless. And so I don't know. It was like, I, it seems like a cash grab. So I was like, well, I don't want to go there. And I want to be doing practical stuff. So yeah, they sent you a form letter. I'm so mad I could scream. Oh, is Trey doing, is that the Golden Girls reference, Trey, where Blanche does actually scream? I've never heard anybody actually scream after they say I'm so angry I could scream. Um, I do think about Chicago. I do think about Chicago. Chicago's got a pretty cool vibe to it. Pretty cool city. Your crime rate is insane. crime rates are insane in all cities. I don't know what to say anymore. Love Seattle. Chicago was good fun. And it's right there. It's right there. Trey, don't think that Atlanta didn't go through my head. I brought it up the other day. And because you actually have film studios and filming and stuff, and houses are still somewhat affordable too. And I know some people there. So it's like, okay. I think I'm going to be real with all of you. I am. So the thing was, is I wanted to go back home because I wanted to go be with my grandparents and, you know, and help there. And I can still go back and forth and do stuff like that. But like, I need to go to Milwaukee specifically. So if there is anything I want to invest my time in the next couple of years, it will probably be there. Because we never know how much time we have left. And I want to go spend it with the people you love the most. And not to say that my grandparents aren't people I love the most, but I just want to help somebody live their dream. Like, I want to make sure somebody's dream comes true. And I think I have the power to do that for somebody who might otherwise do. They could, and that's also on me. That's all. I'm throwing my expectations on other people. Maybe they're living their best life and having their best, or living the best life they can. And like, I don't know, man. Now I'm getting fidgety and weird and not looking at the camera anymore. Oh, Burlington, Vermont. Vermont is on my list. I'm just letting you know. Hope. Vermont is on my list of places I would go. So, Patty, I was not at Baseline today. You could have found me at ESPN. Actually, I didn't have any drinks today. How uncharacteristic of me. But no, I'll be at Halloween Horror Nights tomorrow. So look for me there. I got to work tomorrow though, so I will be working. But yeah, you guys are all awesome, guys, gals, everybody, whoever and everywhere and everything. Please always look for me at Baseline. I love that. I'm just letting you know that I'm not going to be there on like Fridays till probably like November. Just because I'll probably go to Halloween Horror Nights on Fridays. I might go during the day though. I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say I won't be there on Fridays. But maybe we'll pick a different way. I think I need to do like Baseline Mondays. I know we talked about this before. Oh, I've heard about Zero Gravity in Burlington. Yeah. No, wait. Zero Gravity in Burlington, The Alchemist. I want to travel. I want to go around. I want to make travel vlogs, like vlogging and stuff like that. I want to do it on my own. I want to do it. I just want to do. I want to do it. I love the idea of doing it. I wanted to do it in Milwaukee because it was like, these are all, they're not, there's not a lot of chains. I mean, they got chains there. They're not, everybody has chains, but they're so invested in local stuff that it's really, it's very admirable. And I was like, I'd love to help promote that sort of stuff. You know what I mean? Also, it's a destination that I think is worth visiting if you like to vacation in the same way I do. Like, I think there's so much to see and do, and it's like really pretty. And I don't know. I will not be at Halloween Horror Nights on Saturday. I will probably do another live stream here on Saturday. So, check it out. Check it out. I'm gonna try and settle in because I haven't been committing 2 days a week, but I think I'm gonna try and commit to at least 1 day a week. I'm saying like I'm always gonna do a live stream on that day of the week. Okay. It might be like Monday. I think it's gonna be Monday or Tuesday nights because those also seem to be when like less things are happening. So I'm thinking like a Monday night may be a good time to be like, okay, Mondays at like 8 p.m. Eastern time, we're always going to do like 45 minutes or something like that. But yeah, so look forward to that. Just chatting. Just want to say thank you for all of you coming out here and just listening to me rant and everything like that. Like I said, I'll be at Universal tomorrow. I might go back to that shopping thing tomorrow. I'm not to buy anything, but they said there was going to be other stuff, and so I don't know. We'll see. I hope you're all doing well. Thank you everybody for stopping by, and I'll get on it. I'll get on that software so I can share my photos of everything I talked about in this episode and everything again. But yeah, so this was good. This was fun. Thanks everybody. I appreciate it. You're good support people. So I hope that I can offer you a little bit of a community in return, at least with the chat and everything like that, because it's nice seeing you all kind of talk to each other and get to know each other. So that's my goal, right? So yeah, Patty, I want to come to Canada. I want to go to Canada so bad. I thought about doing this. Sorry, I'm reading the chat really quick before I go. Debbie, I have considered teaching, and I did. There was an opportunity that came up, but it is one of those where it was like I could apply for like an emergency because I don't have a master's degree. I could apply for like something that would let me do it, but it was also one of those where I'm like, I'm a little I don't know. I think I'd like to start like community centers in the future. That's what I want the Ampliverse when it becomes a physical location to be. I want it to be an art community center where people can come and learn, and kids from like underprivileged communities, not kids, yes, kids, people of all ages. That's what Carver Community Access Television was when I was a kid. I met older people, younger people, everybody. And it was like these people who just found an outlet and they just needed that outlet. And it was the thing that got them. It gave them purpose, and it gave them a new this like feeling of like connectivity and community. I was like, that's sort of beautiful. So I'd like to facilitate some of that someday. So all right, kids, I gotta go because I do have to walk the dogs, and I gotta wake up early, and I have got to unpack my clothes. So I'll see you all later. Thank you again. Bye.